Trouble in Paradise?
To y'all, man. 2 cents be on point. She be on point, bro. On
Appreciate
point.
it.
Nah, for real.
Appreciate
She
it.
be talking facts. Like you was the first one to say it too.
Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's video, we will be discussing Bob Arum and Turki Alalshikh allegedly being at odds. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go throughout the video. Shout out to Big Supreme for sending me this link. I believe it was Sunday, I think, on my live, or maybe Friday on my live. But listen, you guys can join me Friday at 6:30 until on the live, where we just it's like open panel. We just discuss whatever's on anybody's minds, the things that stood out to people for the week. We just get on there and chit chat. We have a lot of fun. We get some fun debates going back and forth. So join me Friday for my live. So join me Friday for my lives at 6:30, or you can join me Sundays, where I'll be live from 5 to 7 p.m. Now, I was sent this article. I just want to read it with you guys real quick, give my quick 2 cents about it, and you can join me Friday and give your 2 cents about it, and we will be discussing more about this topic then. So let's go through this article, because Bob Arum and Turki Alalshikh seems to be at odds over the process and the way Turki Alalshikh handles his business. Let's take a look at the article. And allegedly, Turki and Eddie are at odds also, but I don't know too much about that. I just heard that on these YouTube streets. But here's an actual article giving some information about exactly what's going on. So it says, in the world of boxing, few figures are as influential or outspoken as top-ranked chairman Bob Arum. Known for his candor and long-standing reputation in the industry, Arum has recently found himself at odds with Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, GEA, head Turki Alalshikh over a series of business and ethical disagreements. The feud reportedly revolves around a series of perceived transgression and differences in approach, sparking tensions between the two power players. Now, I think that it's interesting that it's been a series of business and ethical disagreements. A series of them. That means it's been more than one. So let's keep going. It says one of the primary sources of tension is between Arum and Alalshikh centers on the Saudis' official approach to dealing directly with fighters. Alalshikh has been accused of bypassing traditional channels by reaching out to athletes without prior approval from their promoters. In the case of top-ranked prize heavyweight fighter Jared Big Baby Anderson, Alalshikh secured a deal for the fighter to appear on an August 3rd Riyadh season event in Los Angeles. Though Anderson was keen on participating, Top Rank's plan for him to headline a hometown event in Ohio alongside Albert Bell was consequently scrapped. So, this is the issue. Turki Alalshikh, a lot of people were like, oh, you know, Turki going straight to the fighters. He getting Turki this money and this and that. And it sounds good. It sounds good. He's going straight to the fighters. He's getting them paid a lot of money and doing this and that. However, when you think about it from a business standpoint, just like Bob said, he already had plans for Big Baby Anderson to headline a show in his hometown, right? So you swooping in, Turki, like, hey, let's do this, woo woo, let's make this deal. Bob Arum unaware, because you're going straight to the fighters. So it's like you're undermining his promoter. You're undermining the person that has put all of the investment into this fighter. You're undermining the person that has built this fighter, and then you can just come in and slang a bunch of money around, and it's almost like sticking up the middle finger to Bob Arum, like, F you. You get what I'm saying? Forget the investment you made. Forget how you built these fighters. Forget the plans that you have for him. He's just going to come fight on one of my cars, right? And Bob Arum was upset about that, and he's expressed that he was upset about that because you can't just basically Turki Alalshikh swooped in and stole Bob Arum's investment, took his investment, let's say, made some money off of it theoretically, and then gave it back to him after he's devalued and lowered the market value of the investment. That's what happened. Says Arum was reportedly incensed over this move, which disrupted his promotional strategy and eventually ended in a brutal loss for Anderson. Martin Boloki knocked Anderson out in the August 3rd, raising questions about the future viability of Anderson as a marketable star. Arum had been counting on Anderson's continued success as a major draw, especially as Top Rank navigates contract negotiations with ESPN. Arum has not held back, making his frustration with Alalshikh public and reportedly lamenting the loss of control in Anderson's career path. The term torturous interference has even been used to describe Alalshikh's behavior, as reaching out to fighters directly without consulting promoters is seen as a serious breach of boxing's established business ethics. Torturous interference is the word used here. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all come back on Friday because we're going to talk about this. I want to get everybody's 2 cents about this. So Turki Alalshikh is interfering. He's interfering in these promoters' businesses when he does things like that, because as the promoter and you the fighter, is my quote unquote product, I have a plan for you. I have a path for you, and I have a direction for you. And on top of that, you were one of my star fighters, and I was going to use you to renegotiate my ESPN contract because you're one of the star fighters. I've been building you up to be one of the star fighters on Top Rank. So not only did you ruin my star fighter, you're also messing up me being able to renegotiate my contract with ESPN. And like, seriously, I understand a lot of guys like Turki Alalshikh, he getting the fighter paid, he doing that, and that's cool. But that's only one aspect of the business. It's more to it. It's more behind the scenes. It's more things that people don't understand, that they don't know about. And the way Turki Alalshikh is coming in is disrupting that. Now, I understand when you come in and you disrupt the industry, there's going to be a lot of pushback. There's going to be a lot of people that don't agree because that's not how they're used to doing things. But you can't unethically, you can't come in and do things unethically in order to disrupt and make and get your foot in the door and make whatever changes that you want to make into the industry. Torturous interference. Like you in here interfering with my business. I wouldn't be surprised if Bob Arum tried to sue Turki Alalshikh. Says adding fuel to the fire is an incident involving Japanese boxer superstar Naoya Inoue, and we just heard Inoue just signed that deal with Turki Alalshikh and the World Boxing Association. Earlier this year, the WBA ordered a mandatory title between Inoue and Uzbekistan Madorjan Akhmadiev for the super bantamweight title. It is widely suspected that Alalshikh, who has a relationship with WBA, influenced the decision to try to ensure Inoue's participation in the Riyadh season event in London. The bout was intended to be held at Wembley Stadium on September 21st, a move that Arum was quick to criticize. No chance. Who is this guy? Nobody's ever heard of him. We're not going to fight a no-name guy in Wembley, Arum said at the time to Boxing News ED. Clearly exasperated, he and Inoue's Japanese promoter, Hiduki Oashi, viewed the bout as a non-starter, opting instead for Inoue to fight TJ Donnie in September and then satisfy his IBF mandatory in December after some negotiation. Inoue and the WBA agreed to an agreement where Akhmadiev would instead fight for an interim title, which while Inoue pursued his own preferred fights. This episode exemplified the control Alalshikh allegedly wields in the sport, leveraging partnerships to influence fighter placements and matchups. Arum, meanwhile, bristled at the notion of being forced into events and matchups by outside pressures, furthering the rift between him and the Saudi promoter. Man, listen, y'all make sure y'all come back to the live on Friday because we are going to talk about this. Turki Alalshikh in here throwing his money around, getting things his way. From my understanding, I thought he was trying to get all of the promoters under one umbrella, but it's looking like he's bypassing those promoters and going straight to fighters and undermining them. So I don't know how we're going to be in a partnership and work together when you're undermining me, torturous interference in my business, messing up my fighters' markability, messing up my chances of renegotiating the contract with my network. You're doing all of this. And Bob Arum is having a problem with that. In June, Alalshikh announced plans to create a boxing league in collaboration with all major promoters, aiming to establish a unified platform for fighters. While the idea may have seemed revolutionary, it quickly met resistance, particularly from Top Rank, according to sources close to the situation. Top Rank senior executive Karl Moradi dismissed the proposed Saudi boxing league as a pipe dream, casting doubt on the feasibility of a large-scale collaborative league with major promoters. The sentiment reflects Top Rank's broader reluctance to enter into partnerships that could dilute its brand or weaken its negotiating leverage. So Bob Arum is basically saying, we not about to be in no league, because if all the promoters come together and make a league, it's going to diminish my negotiation leverage. It's kind of going to be like the UFC, because there's no competition there. Competition is good for the market. I don't know why people want a monopoly on boxing. Competition is good for the market. Let's go get through this. Ironically, despite their tensions, Top Rank and Riyadh season entered into a formal partnership in July. However, insiders describe the agreement more as a sponsorship than a true partnership. Riyadh season logos now appear on promotional materials for Top Rank events, but reports suggest that Arum plans to downplay this branding, starting with the upcoming event in Verona, New York on November 2nd. The relationship between Top Rank and Riyadh season is thus a complex one, marked by shared commercial interests, but underpinned by friction and divergent views on how best to promote the boxing globally. So it almost kind of sounds like, yeah, let's partner. But by let's partner, I mean, let me just use your name and your fighters, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna put fighters in the ring with whoever I want to put fighters in the ring with. You cannot build a fighter that way. And we're gonna talk about this more on Friday, because I really don't have time to get into it in this video. But you have to build up fighters. You have to invest money in the fighters to build them up, to get them to superstar. You can't just see a fighter, perceive that he's good, no matter where he is in his career, and want to throw him in the ring with one of the top fighters because he's looking good fighting against these prospects on his way up. We just seen the same similar situation with Kid Austin. It was people talking about Kid Austin should be in the ring with Tank. And this last fight was his first 12-round fight. But anyway, I digress. In an October interview with boxing journalist Dan Raphael, Arum revealed further insight into the complexities surrounding Alalshikh's position. Arum claimed that Alalshikh had been pressured by Saudi higher-ups to limit his activities to Riyadh season and avoid events held outside of Saudi Arabia. Alalshikh responded forcefully, urging fans and media to disregard statements unless they came directly from him. The public back and forth underscored the delicate nature of Alalshikh's standing within Saudi Arabia, as well as the potential constraints on his future ambitions. Recent remarks by Yasir al-Rumayyan, governor of Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, the PIF, add another layer to the picture. Speaking at the Future Investment Initiative conference in Riyadh on October 29th, al-Rumayyan announced a scaled-back international focus for the PIF as oil revenues have slowed, with the fund now aiming to focus more on domestic economy. Al-Rumayyan disclosed that the PIF's international investments will be reduced to 18 to 20% from a previous high of 30%. Since the PIF provides the financial backing for Riyadh season events, this shift could have significant implications for Alalshikh's ability to stage large-scale international boxing showcases in the future, especially if resources are redirected toward domestic priorities. Now, all this unlimited money and all this stuff this people been talking, I just debunked that. There's no unlimited money. The man was using 30% of the PIF fund in order to put on these big staged events that ultimately were not profitable. They were not profitable. Now they're cutting it 10%, and he only has 18 to 20% to work with. And they only want the fights in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia. They only want the Riyadh season cards in Saudi Arabia. So this is a lot to unpack in this article. Make sure y'all come back Friday where we really gonna have time to sit down and go through it and break it down, and then you'll be able to give me your 2 cents. But let me know and drop it below what y'all think about this, because I feel like there were a lot of things that was put out in the beginning because we didn't really know what was going on. We wasn't real clear. And people were just thinking like, oh, Turki Alalshikh, they got all this money. They just gonna pay the fighters whatever they want. They're gonna let fighters fight whoever they want, when that just, it wasn't the truth. And now that we've had a year of the fights with Turki Alalshikh, we are seeing that the way he's going to have to change the way he's going about business and working with these fighters, because you can't just go to straight to fighters and undermine their promoters, because the promoters have invested in these fighters, they've built up these fighters, and they have plans for these fighters. And Turki Alalshikh is just coming in and messing up with that. The ongoing dispute between Bob Arum and Turki Alalshikh highlights a broader clash within boxing's hierarchy. The tension between traditional promotion styles and new, ambitious market entrants with significant resources. For Arum, Alalshikh's tactics of directly engaging fighters and attempting to influence sanctioning bodies are affronts to long-standing norms in the sport, potentially undermining the structure that promoters like Top Rank have helped build. Alalshikh, meanwhile, is seen as a disruptor with a grand vision of transforming boxing into a globally unified enterprise. With Saudi Arabia at its heart, yet the financial collaboration of the PIF and Alalshikh's public rebuke of Arum reveal potential limitations to the ambition. As these two powerful figures continue to clash, the implications for boxing's future are substantial. Will the sport evolve in response to Alalshikh's vision, or will traditional promoters like Arum ultimately resist and retain control? The boxer struggle between Arum and Alalshikh is far from over, and its impact on the boxing world could be profound and lasting. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed that article. If you want to go read the article yourself, I'm going to put the link in the description so you can go check it out. But I know most people won't read that article, so that's why I came on here and just read it, so everybody will be informed about it. So when we go live on Friday, 6:30, make sure you meet me there. We can have an informed and intelligent discussion, and everybody can get on and give me their 2 cents. But what I got from the article is that these promoters are not appreciating how Turki Alalshikh is doing business, going straight to these fighters and putting them in the ring with people that they think the fans want to see, or that they want to see, and that it will be a good fight. They're not matching them properly. They're destroying the plans that these promoters have for these fighters. Maybe the smaller tier fighters is not that big of a deal, but when you have a main fighter on your promotion, one of the stars of your promotional company, Gary Anderson was one of the stars at Top Rank, and his market value was just destroyed because he got in the ring with a fighter that he wasn't ready to be in the ring with. And I don't mean he wasn't ready to be in the ring with like they just put him in the ring with people they know he can beat. He just hadn't built himself up yet to that level of competition. He needed to get some more fights in. Simple as that. And Bob knew that. Bob's contract is about to end with ESPN. They need to renew. He probably was gonna use Jerry Anderson, like, hey, this is one of my stars. This is what he do. This is the type of money he can bring in. Bob no longer has Shakur Steve. He's lost Shakur Stevenson, which was also one of his stars at Top Rank. And I'm also hearing that Eddie and Turki are at odds. So Turki is coming in. He is disrupting the game. He has put on some big events, things that are different in boxing, things concerts and all kind of stuff. He's done all of that. But at what cost? At what cost? How is this interfering with these fighters' careers? But look, this video is long enough. Look, let me know what you think about the beef between Bob Arum and Turki Alalshikh. by dropping your 2 cents below in the comments. Follow me on X at 2 cents 20. Follow me on Instagram at 2 cents boxing. Make sure you come Friday at 6:30 so we can have a conversation. I'm Jay, and stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next video.